I'm so nervous. I don't know why I'm so nervous. This is crazy. But I am excited to start something new. So, basically, what is happening is that I am a mother of two. Had my first when I was 21, second when I was 24, and starting to realize that I like having dialogue regarding postpartum, and I'm noticing that there are a lot of other people who need to know that they're not alone in what they're going through. So I'm basically going to be telling my stories about my pregnancy, what I'm going through, or what I have gone through after having the babies, how they differ, what I love, what I hate, things on that front. And then, of course, I'll be showing some things with the kids as well. I hope you guys like it. So here it is. So what I want to start with is talking about my first pregnancy with my daughter Kiara, which was like the most insane pregnancy. They say that it's a myth about when you are pregnant with a girl, and that when you get extremely morning sick, that it doesn't necessarily mean that you're having a girl. It could just be that you're extremely morning sick. However, when I was pregnant with Kiara, I was sick from the time I found out I was pregnant up until about 6 or 7 months of my pregnancy. So it was insane. I had to be put on medication. I don't remember the name of the medication that I was on, but it barely helped. It helped me to keep down water, and that was basically it. But yeah, that was the craziest amount of sickness I've ever experienced. And two, it was worse because TMI, when you get sick like that, your bladder is also weak. So when you're like vomiting, of course you're peeing at the same time. So I used to have to throw up in the toilet and then have a bucket underneath me just in case my bladder decided to let loose. Or I would be sitting on the toilet with a bucket in front of me so that I could throw up in the bucket and pee in the toilet at the same time. It's a crazy story of my life. Most embarrassing time I've ever endured, but it is what it is. Now with my son Elijah, he was something else because I was a little bit older. I had already gone through it once. I had a little bit of nausea, but I wasn't to the extent of where I was with Kiara. With Elijah, my back hurt, my hips hurt. I got huge to the point where I could barely walk, I could barely sit. Everything was uncomfortable. It just was, I was so miserable through Elijah's pregnancy. I didn't post any pictures of myself. I didn't really take much time off. Kiara was pretty much my main priority, and I kind of did what I had to do, went to work, sat in pain. People thought I was like 8 months, 9 months pregnant when I was maybe 6 months. So there you go. I also had zero energy, and I ate everything. I had 6 meals a day, 6 full meals. So that's 2 meals for breakfast, 2 meals for lunch, and 2 meals for dinner. I would literally take a bag full of food to work, and everybody would laugh at me whenever I would take my break to eat. Little did they know I needed it. But other than that, I think I had a little bit more energy with Kiara than I did with Elijah. With Kiara, I was in the gym, I was very active, I was doing everything I possibly could. With Elijah, I just kind of, again, sat around, went to work, came home, ate my 6 meals a day, and then called it a day, went to bed as early as I could. With Kiara, I only gained 25 pounds, and with Elijah, I gained closer to 50, so I don't know what happened there. I think a lot of it was maybe just water. Okay, so anyways, back to my story. So with the labor and deliveries, they were completely different as well. So with Kiara, it kind of came fast and furious, and with Elijah, it took forever. I feel like it was drawn out. By the end of it, I was so fed up that I was running up flights of stairs within the hospital, having people thinking I was crazy. So with Kiara, my labor was probably about 9 hours, so it wasn't that long from start to finish. I had no idea that I was even in labor because of my Braxton Hicks. They were so constant and they were pretty strong. So I kind of assumed at the beginning that they were just more Braxton Hicks contractions that I was getting. Then they got a little more intense and I started to get those for sure signs that I was in labor. TMI, for example, like the mucus plug, the bloody show, things like that. Let's be real. That's what happened. So basically things like that started to happen. I was like, oh my gosh, let me hurry up and get to the hospital. So I called the hospital and they were like, okay, how far along are your contractions? I said, well, they're pretty constant. They're about 5 minutes apart, but they're only lasting a few seconds here and a few seconds there. So she says, well, we want them 5 minutes apart and 1 minute long each contraction. I said, no, ma'am, I can't wait that long. You need to hurry up and get me into a room because I have a short cervix, so my labor will move like this. She goes, okay, bet. See how long you could last at home. So I was like, okay, all right. So I waited another hour. Sure enough, I couldn't take it anymore. They were getting closer together, almost not nonstop yet, but they were really close together, and I was starting to get frustrated. So I told my mom to hurry up, pack up the car, and let's get out. So we got out. We're in the car. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. It's night. It's September, so though it was kind of cold, and then to make 10 times worse, it is foggy outside. And if anybody knows my mom or has ever driven with my mom, if the sun is not shining and the way is not clear, she will drive 20 on the highway. So it took forever. Ask me if I almost had this baby in the car. I could not even walk upstairs. I practically grabbed a wheelchair from where I was not supposed to have gotten a wheelchair from, and basically wheeled myself up to the maternity ward. My boyfriend shows up. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm about to have this baby. So they triage me. And of course, they're taking their ever-loving time because nobody's taking me seriously when I'm telling them that my contractions are not stopping. They barely checked me. Literally did not believe me. But yeah, so they thought that I was joking. Oh, there's the baby. Okay, so here's the baby. He woke up, of course, because of the noises. But anyways, this is what basically happened. So long story short, they didn't believe me. I asked them for an epidural. Nobody was rushing to my help, to my aid. And then I was throwing up because of the pain and so on and so forth. Again, the nurses still weren't checking me. So I had to go send my boyfriend out of the room to go and physically grab a nurse and bring her in so that she can check me and hurry up and get me into a room because I could feel this baby pushing through. So she comes in, she checks me, she goes, oh my gosh, you're about to deliver. I'm like, no, shh. Of course, I said that. So she runs out, grabs the doctor checks me. They're like, oh my god, she's gonna have a baby. Meanwhile, there's like 5 other ladies in the triage and they're all freaking out because they're like, oh my god, somebody's having a baby here, blah, 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 blah. It was crazy, like pandemonium. I can't even make this up. It was the funniest thing. So I'm like, I want an epidural. I want an epidural. The nurse goes, well, it's too late now because you're about to have a baby. And I was like, no, ma'am, I think I need an epidural. She goes, well, if you have an epidural, then you're going to delay this delivery a few hours. Do you want to continue to go through that? And I was like, sure. She said no. So I was like, okay. So we get me into a room. The doctor comes in, breaks my water because my water still has not broken. And then he was basically like, all right, let's do it. I think maybe 5 pushes, not even 2 or 3 pushes in, Kiara was out. And it was 4:59 a.m. because she was too bougie to come at 5 o'clock on the dot. It had to be 4:59. And she was 5 pounds 6 ounces. So she was a little baby, even though I made it to term. But I'm little as well, so it kind of makes sense. And yeah, so that was Kiara's story. Now Elijah's delivery story, it's not as eventful. It was just that he took forever. So yeah, so those are my birth stories. But everybody tells a birth story. Everybody hears a birth story. Everybody has a birth story to tell. What I really want to speak more about is what is happening after. I know that a lot of people don't really have time to talk about it, so there isn't much on it, but I want to be really and brutally honest about the things that I'm going through. This page isn't so much for me. It's not for popularity. It's honestly just to show that you have support. You have somebody who's also going through the same things as you. You might be able to sympathize or understand, or you might be going through the same things as me. So I want everybody to know that they're not alone in going through some of the things that they're going through postpartum, and so on and so forth. So I really hope you guys like this video. Are you all done or are you all finished? This is so annoying. Why now? Ah! Why are you standing on your own? Yay! Yay! Yay, Papa! Okay, so that was the first time he did that, and coincidentally, I caught it on camera. Yay! So that is my video. Oh, Papa. That is my video. I hope you guys liked it. If you like it, or if you have any suggestions or questions about anything that you want to know about being a mom, about pregnancy, about postpartum, let me know in the comments. Like my page. And hopefully my next video is better. Take it easy on me, guys, because this is my first one. I'm still learning. But hopefully the next one will be a lot better. Thanks, guys. Bye.